Today, we're going to learn how to create a voucher. And this exam is going to be proctored by Examity. The first step we have to do is to understand that the process is very similar to the remote testing that we're accustomed to use at the college. First, let's go over to the AccuPlacer site so we can demonstrate this feature. Go to the following site, accuplacer.org. Once we're here, we'll be able to log in using our Proctor credentials. So using your Proctor credentials, log in into the site. Once you log in, you're going to notice that the process is very similar to what we do when we proctor a normal exam. But the Proctor credential will offer you access to the voucher system. But before you issue any vouchers, you have to make sure that the student you're trying to help actually exists or doesn't exist in the database. So use the user's database, go to Manage User and then Student Profile. Using the query on this system, you will be able to find or locate the student if they exist already in the system. Let's try an example. Let's use me as an example. Let me type my first name and then my last name. When I click search, I'm going to find all of the persons that match the information I just put in. But lucky for us, we only have one record. And the record is shown below. You now know that the record, in this case for me, exists already in AccuPlacer, so you don't have to add the new information. Now we can start with the voucher. Let's go to Generate Voucher because we don't need to do any pre-registration. Once we get to this screen, we're going to be locating the record in the system. So click where it says Find Student, and let's type again the information that we provided before. We start with my first name, and then we type the last name, and then we click Search. Any records that exist will show in the bottom like they show below. So what we do, now that we verified that it is the person who we're talking to, is select it, and then click Add. Once the record is added into the system on the bottom, then we can start setting up the options to create the voucher. The first thing we have to do is actually check the record and select the branching profile. Let's say the student is taking just one test, in this case me, so we select the appropriate branching profile and that way we can continue. Let's use the rating profile. So we click on it. And now we're going to have to set up what kind of voucher we're going to be using. So if you click on the options below, usually you get two options. The first one, which is a print voucher, and the second one, which is a remote voucher. That's the one we need to use. So you select that one. As you notice on the left side, you have to select the remote site, and you have to look for it first. Oh, I almost forgot. You have to set up the voucher expiration. We can set it for any amount of time, but I believe we're going to leave it at 90 days. For now, let's just select it for 30 days. Just for this example. So let's look for that remote site. So we click on the search box and we get the information to look up for the remote site for other colleges, universities. But in this case, we just need to use a virtual site, in this case, Examity. So we click right here to indicate that we're looking for a virtual site only. So if we have any contracts, we click search, and if we have the only one with Examity, it will come out on the bottom. So at this point in time, we select it, and then we click on the blue button that says select. Now we have the information on the bottom, and we just have one more button to press in order for us to issue the voucher, and it's click generate voucher. When this happens, we get the information that we're going to be sending to the student on top, and the moment we click yes, the voucher is going to be generated, the student is going to get an email, and we're going to get an email confirming that out, and we are done.